Welcome back to the Great Give Radiothon on WNHH-FM, your home for community radio at 103.5 FM and live streamed at newhavenindependent.org. What a start that was to the day of the foundation that's getting us going. Folks, we're in the home stretch of a 36-hour community barn raising and nonprofit support drive called The Great Give, run by the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven. And you know how it works every year. We ask everyone to dig deep and join in giving through one central platform, donations to the great nonprofits in town, help them win some prizes, matching money. We're going for $2 million. Last year, we hit a record of $1.75 million. And meanwhile, here on the radio, we're visiting with the people who do the great work in the trenches, make this a stronger, more just, and vibrant community. And right now, we're meeting with the folks from Fellowship House, which is one of the great institutions in New Haven that's grown with a great starting mission. It's grown to such an important institution in our town. We've got Mary Guerrera here. Mary, you run the joint, right?
That's right, I do.
But there's a formal name for running the joint, right? Executive Director?
Yeah, well, I say Chief Cook and Bottle Washer.
Okay, that's a good title. And we got Edward, who lives there on Elm Street.
I go there for many
day programs.
Yeah.
All right, and if you don't mind being close to the mic.
All
So
right.
just so people know, Fellowship House, was it started by McDowell, Mr. McDowell?
Yeah, Fellowship Place. That's our name, Fellowship Place. We started in 1960.
Oh, it's that long.
It was started by a group of volunteers
Phyllis,
led by Phyllis McDowell, and
Mother of Doobie
we
McDowell.
started out as a one night a week social program. We operated out of the basement of the old Jewish community center on Chapel Street.
Oh,
And
I didn't know that.
what we did for like probably the first 20 years of our life was just run a social with refreshments and dancing and just an opportunity for people to come together and meet and be with other people that were facing mental illness.
So is this
together.
mostly for adults who
Just
are
for-
wrestling mental illness?
Yeah.
And am I right to say that from the start, you've grown to such a big organization, but is the one common thread is that through community and support, you help people, adults facing mental illness challenges, to function in society, to lead productive, independent lives?
Yeah, one of the most important things that we think help people in the recovery process is to have friends and positive social connections, and to know that they're not alone, that there are other people going through the same kinds of problems, and that people can learn from each other and support each other. A lot of the people that we serve really don't have a lot of family for one reason or another. They have disconnected from their family. So Fellowship Place becomes their family.
So Fellowship Place, which used to be Fellowship House, right?
Maybe in the very early days, but
Okay,
certainly
I'm
not
sorry, I didn't think-
not now.
When did you make the move to start building a campus where people live and go to day programs on Elm Street? We're talking about Elm between Dwight and University Place.
Yeah. So we moved to the current location on Elm Street in the mid 1980s. And initially we just purchased the building that faces Elm Street that used to be the old food co-op.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
then we slowly added
I didn't know
additional
that was the food co-op.
Yeah, it was the food co-op before it was Fellowship Place.
Wow.
And then the food co-op moved to Hamden. The building became available.
Oh, that's right, but it wasn't a food co-op. It was a place called the co-op, right? Because there was a different food co-op on Whaley Avenue that was a big community operation.
My understanding is that our building used to be the food co-op. I wasn't
Okay.
here back then, so
I
I
remember
don't
going
know.
to the store there. Okay.
Yeah, but so we purchased that building, and then were able to acquire other buildings and have developed a very nice campus with multiple buildings for programming. And then we also acquired 3 apartment buildings that are right next door to the campus.
And that was more recent, like we're talking the
early
2000s.
2000s, early 2000s. So we provide permanent supported housing for people in those 3 buildings. So we're housing about 25 people in those 3 buildings. We also have a 4th apartment building, but it's up the street on Whaley Avenue.
And it's really a lovely place. You walk in there and you're into a community once you walk in. And just so our listeners know, we're talking about Fellowship Place. We're talking about on the Great Give Radiothon on WNHH FM. We're asking people to help support the great nonprofits in New Haven during this 36-hour drive by going to thegreatgive.org. When we're visiting with the people who do the work, this segment we're talking to the Fellowship Place crew. We're asking go to thegreatgive.org and maybe give some money to the Fellowship Place. We think it's worth it. You know, a very close friend of mine, one of my dearest friends ever, he's dead now. The last decade of his life were wonderful years because of Fellowship Place. He struggled with mental illness. He had strokes. He had been homeless. And once he finally got to Fellowship Place and lived there, he was a very smart person and loved people. He loved the staff and the programs that got him involved in active stuff, and they appreciate him so much. And he lived in a really nice place for 10 years at the end of his life and did a lot, interacted with the world, and had a base and support. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget. And I was thinking, boy, this is part of why I love to live in New Haven, because you had an institution like that could step in for people like that and just make us all richer. Just wanted to say that.
Well, I think that I'd like to give Ed, who's one of our clients, an opportunity to tell his story. Ed's involved with a lot of different programs at Fellowship Place, and I think he's got a really important message to tell about how the kinds of supports that we provide can really help people get their lives on track and be healthier and more productive. So
that's good, great, Ed. It's great to have you in the studio too. So, Ed, what do you do at Fellowship House Place?
Well, I started out homeless too, and it's just like you said, the same thing as your friend. There's a lot of things for me to do there, and I'm very grateful for it. It got me out the streets. Also point me the right direction so I could be able to get myself back on my feet, which they helped me out with housing. They also helped me out with employment. Now I'm employed with Eli's restaurant, which I'm very grateful for. Been there for over a year right now. I'm grateful for that place to give me the opportunity too. And like you said, there's lots of wonderful people. They just need the right direction. And Fellowship Place basically gives you that. They'll help you out as long as you have that desire to want to change.
And we talk about right direction. In other contexts, we sometimes talk about morality, but we're really not talking about morality here. We're talking about mental illness, which is an illness, which our society has come to recognize more. It's like if you hurt your finger, you need some help to get your finger back, right? And mental illness is often misunderstood by our society, dealt with in the wrong way. I mean, is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. I mean, mental illness is a brain disorder that people cannot control any more than you can control whether or not you get cancer or heart disease or other chronic illnesses. And I think for a long time there was a stereotype that somehow a bad childhood or poor choices.
There's a judgment that then leads to the wrong way of dealing with it, like incarceration or.
Yeah. And one of the things that we think is really, really important to get out to the public is that people who have a mental illness can get better if they have treatment and support services that help them get on the recovery recovery path.
You said 25 residences. How many people total are served by your program?
Fellowship Place serves a little over 800 people a year.
Wow. Okay.
We provide housing for 45 people.
In the 25 units?
We have 4 apartment buildings. So we have about 45 people in 4 apartment buildings. And we have day programming that is available to people 7 days a week.
Okay.
And on average, we see on the campus every day about 150 people or so. Right. We're open from very early in the morning till early evening.
And you do special programs too, because we sometimes go cover them. You do plays and screenings
they have
and talks.
Art class, dance, movies, trips, and there's all sorts of things like that, which I definitely enjoy.
So tell me about when you first got there. What was the help you first got? Like, what kind of group were you in?
at first, yeah, you always have to check out to see how it is, how everybody's doing. And what I notice about this place is they work with every individual, to them, because everybody's case is different.
Mhm.
So they got to know me first, and then when with that, they knew what I was looking for, and from there we started figuring out what I needed to do.
Well, you talked about employment.
Yeah.
So, for instance, they tell you how to prepare for a job interview. They tell you here's a place that's
Yeah.
looking for somebody.
Also bring me to the location so I can be
Oh.
able. They reach out as far as they can.
And did they talk to you about like what you like to do and what you're good at when they're
Yeah.
talking about?
We've seen what I did previously. Set me up with resumes, email, all sorts of things, just so I could be able to be, you know, better employee.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just great that the person that helped me out there was, amazing. I'm very grateful for that.
I always hear about how great the people there who work there. It's just
Eh,
caring people.
All of them are. They really do. Like I said, every individual has their own situations, and they cater to them to that situation. They're not going to treat everybody the same way.
And you also talked about housing. Do you live on site or did they help you find an
No,
apartment somewhere else?
They had helped me through other organizations because I was trying to find my place, and I didn't know how to go about the steps. So then they found like a means, because I wasn't employed, and they had me with help. They helped me out with Columbus House with rapid rehousing,
Mhm.
which got me started. And then from there, I said, well, this is only a short time, and I'm concerned that I'll still be in that situation. And that's where they jumped in and helped me out with the employment, make sure that I got this
Got a
job.
paycheck so you could pay the rent.
Right.
And how often do you go to Fellowship Place now?
I still go there because it's great like that.
And what do you do there?
I socialize with everybody there. I go to the art class. If I can, I'll go dancing, because they have a dance class that they teach you how to dance. I never knew how to dance, and I'm glad with the
What kind of
instructors that
dancing do you do?
they started out as Latin dance, but they broadened it up. We have done swing, disco, um, uh, square dance, all kinds of dance. If
That sounds
you
fun.
have a particular type of dance, they'll try to go for teach the class that,
Mhm.
and that's what I like about it, because they're willing to help you out and
Mhm.
make you comfortable.
So, Paul, if I may, Ed's talked about the expressive arts that we offer: art class, dance class. We have writing groups, we have drama groups, um, which are all a lot of fun. And people really enjoy getting together and dancing or working on an art project. But it's also very therapeutic
That's what I was going to say.
in so
that
many
This
different
all
ways.
sounds like the great way to deal with mental. It's
It's
talking
a way
about community and expression.
Well, it's a way for people to express themselves, but particularly with the dance class, a lot of the people that we work with have a hard time with organization or with memory, and having to follow directions in dance class and learn the steps is a great way to work on your organization and memory skills. And it's also a great way to practice social skills, because you're dancing with a partner and you have to figure out where it's okay to hold them, where it's not okay to hold them. So it's very, very therapeutic.
great way
But
to think about
Exercise
dancing.
also, yeah.
it's also great exercise. The other thing that I really, really want to stress is our career development services, which Ed is a part of. And we offer a continuum of services, beginning with volunteer work for people who are not really ready yet to get out and look for a job, but we provide opportunities for them to get matched up with a variety of volunteer sites in the community that we've partnered with, including the Soup Kitchen and the Animal Shelter, Yale Sustainable Gardens. We also have job training for people interested in the food service industry. And then for people that are really ready to get out there and get a job, earn a paycheck, we have employment counselors that will work with people on their resume, help them get ready for interviews, and actually go out there and talk with employers who might want to partner with us and provide job opportunities for our clients.
So, a word I keep having in my mind as I listen to you both is the word community. I think about how Fellowship Place grew up after an era we called deinstitutionalization. We used to just warehouse people with mental illnesses in prison, and we still have too many people sent there wrongly. But then when we released people in the community, we didn't always have the supports for them to become part of our community. That if we want to be a just community, besides being in our self-interest, not just lock everybody up for a whole host of reasons, financial, social, if we want people in our community, we have to build community and support. And everything I'm hearing you talk about, from the way you work with other institutions to the way you work with people to the way Edward keeps coming back, you got him on his feet. He got on his feet with your help, but he's still back as part of the community. And so I can't think of any reason not at this moment to go to thegreatgive.org as part of the Community Foundation's Great Give campaign and give a few dollars to help you do this great work we've just been hearing about. I know we all value it. It's all of our work for the community. So we're talking about Fellowship Place. And if you go to thegreatgive.org right now, you have the opportunity to give them a donation that might get matched, will definitely go to good use, and help us help 406 nonprofits in New Haven. We're aiming for $2 million or more to be raised in this 36-hour Great Give campaign and radiothon here at WNHH. Any parting words? It's so nice to visit with Edward or Mary before we go to our next segment.
I'd just like to say one thing about the with Fellowship. One amazing thing is they got this thing called the kindness contract, which is this is how this place is run. They look for things in this nature because this is what we need to share. We need to be like this, and that's an example of what Fellowship Place is. It's this kind.
Awesome. Any Mary?
And then I would just say that Fellowship Place provides a very, very important service, not only to the 800 people that we serve every year, but to the community.
Right. I consider you're serving the whole community.
Because if the people that come to our campus every day didn't have Fellowship Place, they would be in the community, roaming the streets, maybe getting in trouble, bothering other people. When they come to our campus, we provide a safe place for them to be and unlimited opportunities to figure out their next steps, to get back on their feet.
And everybody's next step is right now, thegreatgive.org. Don't forget thegreatgive.org, a donation for Fellowship Place as we continue in the home stretch of the 36-hour Great Give and Radiothon here in WNHH. Thank you so much, Mary Guerrero, for the work you do, for being here.
Thanks,
and for
Paul.
Edward to be an important part of our community and first-person testimony to the important work of Fellowship Place. Hang with us, folks. We're going to take a quick break with the Afro-Semitic Experience performing Sente. He's an on-time God here at WNHH FM, broadcast from New Haven, Connecticut at 103.5, your home for community radio. We'll be right back after the break.